Hi, this is Matt Minnick, and this is the NFL preview show. So we're going to go through the league division by division, just take a real quick look to preview what's going on this year, and take a real brief overview of the entire league. So starting on the East, I'm out here in Rhode Island, so in the shadows of Foxborough, we'll start with the AFC East, where it is the Patriots all day. Um, don't care about the issues they may have at receiver. They still have Gronk in there, all right, and he's a top five receiver if you want to call him a receiver anyway. So Edelman will come back in late, hopefully more concerned with his knee than him missing for those first few weeks of the season. But they'll get it going. They've got some talented backs that can catch the ball out of the backfield. So they're going to be just fine offensively, and they got the goat. They got Brady back there. He's going to keep things moving. Chris Hogan's been underrated anyway. He's going to get an opportunity to shine in there early on as well. Defensively, they always seem to pull it together. I think this year they're returning just about everybody from last year, with the big exception being Malcolm Butler. They brought in Jason McCourty, who didn't look great in the preseason. Big surprise, J.C. Jackson has looked really good. Undrafted free agent. Not a guy we'll probably get to see early, playing a real big role, but a guy that's going to be more and more important as the year goes along, and likely going to play a key role down the line. And could be just like a Butler, an undrafted guy who gradually gets in there. You start to notice him, and then all of a sudden he's making big plays and taking over in that role. They also added Adrian Claiborne, Danny Shelton, getting some extra pass rush in there. So definitely doing some good things, and they always figure out a way to scheme it up. They got the best coach in the league, they got the best quarterback in the league, and they got a pretty weak division overall. So that's really shouldn't be a problem for the Patriots to take that division. Looking at the Jets. Jets were pretty scrappy last year. They looked like a team that was throwing in the towel and looking to get the draft pick, but that's not the way they played. Just kind of based on the way that they did things in the offseason. People thought that was going on. They're still lacking at the receiver position, but Robbie Anderson's a pretty good one. Terrell Pryor could step up, get back to what he was, in Cleveland. Who knows? Quincy Newman was pretty decent, but really need some guys to step up there and really show that they can get it done. Isaiah Crowell adding him at the running back position, and not a great addition, but he'll be solid there. He'll be all right. Sam Darnold, a lot of potential, way too many picks and fumbles when he was in college for my liking. But if they're smart, they'll figure out how to get him along. He does have a big arm. He's got all the tools you look for. Defensively, they've got some good things going for them in the secondary, and they'll keep rolling on that. And they've got a good defensive coach there as well. New offensive coordinator, new quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to see how this thing moves along for the Jets and what it ends up being. Probably not going to be a big factor this year, but if that's the quarterback, he'll win him some games. He'll push him along, and then they'll have that to build around. So we'll have to see if he's the guy or not, though. Buffalo, another team that was really scrappy last year. Tyrod dragged them into the playoffs. They tried to blow it by taking Tyrod out, and it didn't work. They still managed to get in there, and they get rid of him. They're trying anybody at quarterback. McCarron now out. Peterman starting. That's not going to last. It's going to be Josh Allen at some point, for better or worse. And Josh Allen, another big arm guy, not very accurate. Doesn't really have the receivers right now. Benjamin's a jump ball guy, which matches up pretty well with Allen. Zay Jones, really good in college, didn't do much last year, had some weird stuff going on in the offseason. So who knows what's going to go on with that. They got Tremaine Edmonds at the middle linebacker, their other first-round rookie. So that'll be an interesting one. But overall, the defense isn't going to be very good. It's going to be LaShawn McCoy's team. If he's going to be the one that's going to have to really press it and keep them moving along. But really not looking like it's going to be a good year for the Bills. Should be a pretty easy season for the Patriots as we look at this. It gives us to Miami. Miami might be in an even worse situation. They got Tannehill coming back, but Tannehill's never really proven that he's anything. There's been some weird things going on, with that roster. Where they bring in Frank Gore. Gore looks like he might be the guy. You got Drake in there. Drake looked good after they let Addae go, but now they got Gore in there. They also drafted Kalen Ballage, who's got a lot of potential, and that could be somebody that comes in there down the line. Frank Gore, real solid, reliable guy. Kenyon Drake, like I said, did some good things, but I don't know if I see it long term with him. Receiver wise, Kenny still should be a pretty good one for him this year. Danny Amendola is a real good receiver. Not sure how good of a fit he is there though. And Devontae Parker kind of more of the deep threat for them. Defensively, not a ton of changes there. Really, they're expecting a lot out of Robert Quinn and Cameron Drake to get the pass rush. Those are some guys that at their top potential can be pretty good, but getting a little up there in years. I got some talent at the linebacker spot with Kiko Alonso, Raekwon McMillan coming back from injury, Jerome Baker, rookie coming in there as well. So some young talent at those spots. All in all, it's going to be tough for them. This is really a make or break for Tannehill. This is a year when if he doesn't step up, they're probably going to be moving on from him. Going around and kind of moving clockwise, sticking in the AFC, the Jacksonville Jaguars will flip the script a little bit here and start defensively. They've got a really good defense, from Yannick rushing the passer. They've got a really good secondary, two of the best corners in the league. In Bouye and Jalen Ramsey, and that's really good. They bring them a long way. Going to help them win some games. Offensively, they've got Leonard Fournette. They grind it out with him, but he's shown in the past he's got to get banged up. And then what are they going to do? What are they going to be able to do when he's not in there running the clock for them? Bortles is not a guy that's going to be really efficient for you, and he's not a guy who's really going to win games for you either. So he's kind of an in-between guy. What you really want him to do is not throw picks, run the ball, play some defense, but he's not really that type of guy. And then if those other things aren't working, you're going to get into trouble. So they can win a lot of games doing that, but it's going to be trouble for him down the line. Receiver-wise, they added a tight end actually in Austin Seferian-Jenkins. Don't know how much that's really going to matter. Don't know how much they're going to be able to get him the ball. They've got Keelan Cole really stepping up towards the end of last year. Should be able to ride that into this year. Dante Moncrief has been one of those guys that never really amounted to what people would hope he was going to be in Indy. Let's see what he can do here. Dede Westbrook pretty good in the slot. TJ Chark, a real size speed guy who didn't have a ton of production in college, but could get into the mix as well. All in all, it's going to be about this defense and this run game, and if they can get movement, if they've got a really good offensive line, if they can get movement, run the ball effectively, hopefully keep Fournette healthy and play great defense, it's going to be, able to get them a long way. But when they get a really good team that can score or they can stop that run game, it's going to be a problem for them. Sticking in the AFC South, the Texans are another team that people have talked quite a bit about as being a potential team to win this division. But their problems go way beyond J.J. Watt being injured last year. Obviously Watt coming back, if he can be what he was before, that's going to make their defense a lot better. That's going to be a big-time help to them defensively. But they're still going to have some problems. Offensively, obviously, you've got Deshaun Watson. If he can come back, another big question mark with where he's going to be at injury-wise. If he can come back, he's got some good receivers to throw to. With Fuller, with Hopkins, if he can come back and get it done, that's going to be a great situation. But they don't have a very good offensive line. They don't run the ball very well. With Lamar Miller, mainly because of that line, and they're going to have trouble keeping Deshaun healthy. Really, with Deshaun, he's a very good quarterback. He's not just the guy that runs around. And obviously, he was able to do that and make some big-time splash plays last year by doing that. Be a real exciting guy. But he doesn't need that. So coming back from injury, he can be a good, efficient passer. He doesn't need to make those big plays if he's not able to do that at the same level, at least not right away. That's okay if they can protect him, if they can get the ball out fast. But that's a pretty big at this point. So, the Texans could potentially have some issues there. Continuing this division, Tennessee Titans. They're a team that was pretty good last year, despite some obvious flaws. But they managed to win a lot of games, getting into the playoffs. They've got Marcus Mariota, who's a solid quarterback, but not as good on the run as you might think. For a guy that likes to run, he's not very good when things break down. But he's a guy that can kind of keep you afloat. They've added some tools from him in the last couple of years. Can Taywan Taylor and Corey Davis come into this offense and really contribute this year? That's a big question mark. And with Rashad Matthews, already there, and Delaney Walker, they've got some guys. Running back wise, we've all seen the picture of Derrick Henry and Dion Lewis. So you've got a real thunder and lightning there with those guys. It'll be interesting to see how they interplay, how they go about that. Defensively, they've added some tools, and with the addition of Rashaan Evans in the draft and Harold Landry, as those guys start to crack the lineup, those are guys that can make a big impact on that team and could really help things out. And I think having a coach like Vrabel, an energetic guy, a former player, I think that should really be able to lay something onto them and get them going. So this could be a pretty good team. They've got some things to figure out offensively, particularly in the pass game. But this could be a pretty good team. This could be a team that makes a surprise run down the line, maybe even challenging the Jaguars, if they get some breaks in there. The last team in this division is the Colts, and it's all about Andrew Luck. Can he come back? Can he be what he once was? And that's a huge question mark. And one that we're really not going to know the answer to until we get probably halfway through the season. Right now they didn't really seem to be pushing him in camp. Can he be that big ball, that deep ball guy, or is he just going to need to be a dink and dunker and being more efficient with the offense? That's kind of looking like what they're trying to do with him. If we read into what we saw in the preseason, so that's going to be a big factor. If he can come back, and be hooking up with Ty, getting those big balls, that could be something, and they could do pretty well. But they don't have great personnel. Overall, they added Quentin Nelson to their offensive line. Hopefully, that'll help them run the ball. They've been pretty good, pretty efficient, getting the ball off, pretty good in pass protection. Running back wise, they've got Marlon Mack. Not looking like he's going to be around week 1, but he's a big-time play guy. Nyheim Hines potential to mix in there as well. Those are probably their top-end potential guys. Turbin also in the mix. Wilkins is probably going to be the guy week 1. So kind of a blurry, complicated situation there at running back. With the tight end position, they added Eric Ebron into Jack Doyle. My instinct says that Ebron's going to be the go-to guy. He's a guy who had a lot of production, did a lot of really good things in Detroit, and just didn't really score the touchdowns, though. I think he could be the touchdown guy. He could be the go-to guy in this offense outside of Hilton. In particular, if it does get a little bit more conservative, he might be the guy that they're looking to get to a lot. Defensively, they don't have much going on. They've got Malik Hooker's the best player in their defense. They added some young talent in the draft, but those guys are really going to need to come along. Out west, AFC West, with the Chargers. The Chargers seem to be the really popular pick to win this division, but I've been let down by the Chargers before. I'm not buying it until I see it. Phillip Rivers throws a lot of picks. Not confident that he can get it done. Not confident that people can stay healthy. They've got a long list of receivers: Keenan Allen, obviously, Terrell Gazelle, Travis Benjamin, Mike Williams could be a real interesting one this year to come out. They just brought back Gates at tight end, so they've got a lot of people for him to throw to if they can stay healthy. Gordon, obviously, really good back. Again, got to keep him healthy. Defensively, they've got a real good outside pass rush with Ingram and Bosa. They've added Derwin James in there, who's going to be able to do a lot of things for them, and real versatile, big, fast, athletic guy. So will be interesting to see what they can do. But they failed to put it together in the past. They've had some talent, failed to put it together. Do they have a good roster? Do they have one of the better rosters out there? Yeah, they do. But can they get it all together? That's what it comes down to. That's what the big thing is with them. Looking more out west, other team to look at would be the Denver Broncos. Now they've got Case Keenum at quarterback. So that's a big change. Royce Freeman will be a better running back for them. So that should be able to help them get things going offensively. They've also added some young talent at receiver, and if those guys can step up, we could be seeing a real makeover on that offense in Denver. Defensively, adding Chubb is a clutch move. And I wasn't a huge fan of Chubb coming out. Personally, I don't think that Chubb is a top pass rusher, a number one pass rusher in this league. But he went to Denver where he doesn't have to be. And being opposite Von Miller is going to be huge. I see some real big things out of him. I think he should have a real big season with Von Miller over there taking some of the pressure off him. This could be a really good year for him. Kansas City, the other one's very interesting. And it's all about Mahomes. How does that adjustment take place? Mahomes, to me, out of last year's quarterback class, was the guy who could really create, make things happen with his feet, and be really exciting and dynamic. I thought he was that guy, not Deshaun Watson. So now we're going to see if he can be anywhere near what Deshaun Watson was. That's going to be exciting in Kansas City. And if I'm right, if he's better, watch out. Because they've got Tyreek Hill, they've got Sammy Watkins, they've got Travis Kelce, so they're pushing the ball deep. They've got some real talent catching the ball there, and Kareem Hunt, a running back. So that could be a really interesting, really exciting offense. Defensively, I think there's a bit of a fall off there from past years. Now they've got Fuller in their corner. They obviously don't have Peters anymore. So it's going to be interesting to see how that adjustment takes place. Just not what it was a few years ago. So we'll see where they're at, but I think it's really going to be the offense that's going to push them along, and I think they've got a good chance at that division. I think really. With them in Denver, could be a real shootout. With the Raiders, who knows? I mean, Gruden's come in. Everybody thinks he's crazy. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. We're going to have to let this all play out. But they really seem to be trying to gear it to Amari Cooper in the past game. They've got Jordy Nelson in there now. Who knows what Jordy's going to be coming off of an injury. Marshawn Lynch running the ball. Again, he's kind of getting up there. Was pretty good coming back last year, but he's getting up there in age. The defense is the defense has a lot of problems, and now without Khalil Mack, they've got one more big problem. So hard to tell, what that's going to be, but it's going to be a tough year for them defensively. They don't have the guys that they need to have there, so hopefully they can get something going on offense to keep things respectable. But it's going to be tough for the Raiders this year overall. All right, so that gets us around to the North. And the first team everybody wants to talk about every year in the North is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, they've got the big three. They've got Roethlisberger, who's fallen off a little bit. They've got Le'Veon Bell, who is maybe going to be there at some point. Maybe something's happened on that by the time you're watching this, but who knows? Most recent thing I read was maybe he won't be there till midseason. And Antonio Brown is the best receiver in the league. So that pushes things. If they have those three out there, they're always going to have a chance. But they might not have those guys. They might not have the full three of them. They do have some other talented players, obviously, with Smith-Schuster and James Washington receivers. They are going to be able to push the ball vertically with those guys. Connor, good running back. And he was a really good running back before he got sick. I think now it's been a few years as he starts to get back. He's been in an NFL program. Could be a real breakout for him if he gets his chance. He could be a really good running back. He isn't going to be able to be Le'Veon. And he shouldn't be judged for being Le'Veon. But he can do some of the same things. He can catch the ball in the backfield, and he's a very good runner. So don't count them out just because Bell's not around. Defensively, I do see some problems though, especially in the secondary. So they're gonna have some struggles on defense. Really, this is the AFC North. Was a division that was really known for having talent on defense and having real tough defense. And I feel like that's fallen off in the past couple of years. And the Steelers are an example of that. But they've got a really good offensive line, and they've got those big time players on offense, so they can definitely do some things. But with that, the problems they're having on defense, they could get some push from some of the other teams in the division who I think are going to be a little bit better on defense. One of those is the Bengals. Bengals have one of the best defensive lines in the league. Andrew Billings has really come along, which solidifies that and focuses it out with Carlos Dunlap, Carl Lawson on the edges, Geno Atkins inside. One of the best interior pass rushers there is, and they've also got the best kept secret in the NFL, maybe unless you follow Pro Football Focus closely, is William Jackson. He's going to be known as one of the top corners in the league very soon. So they're doing some things really well on defense. They look like they're doing things better on offense than they were last year. Don't look good in the preseason. John Ross looks like he's healthy. They're able to push the ball vertically with him, have a couple more drops than people would like, but they are going to be able to push the ball with him, and that's going to him being able to take the top off the defense is going to free up A.J. Green. You can't just roll everything to A.J. Green when you got a guy opposite him who's going to be able to push it like that. And also Tyler Boyd, who really came on last year in the Ravens game and made his presence known. When they let him get in there last year, towards the end of the year, he really took off. Offensive line's a big question mark. They made some improvements with Cordy Glenn, with Billy Price, but what's that going to be? They were very good in pass protection, but not so good running the ball this preseason, which is a shame because they've got Joe Mixon, who can catch the ball in the backfield, who can run the ball very well, and could have a breakout year if he can get some blocking in front of him. We've also got Tyler Eifert returning, and Tyler Eifert is one of the best receiving tight ends in the league when healthy. So if they can keep him healthy, that's going to be another big time threat, especially down by the goal line. He's a guy that can make some serious plays for him. The guy people forget a little bit about just because of the injuries in recent years. The Ravens haven't been good. Haven't been able to really do anything offensively the last couple of years. Now with Lamar Jackson there, maybe that's a motivational technique. Maybe that's something that gets Flacco going. I don't think we're going to see any of Jackson this year, but maybe that does get him going. Collins at running back, I think, is a little overrated. They have made some moves to try and improve the pass game. They went out and got a couple of tight ends in the draft. Hayden Hurst, unfortunately injured, but Flacco loves those tight ends. He loves throwing to those guys. So giving him a safety blanket like that's going to help out. Willie Snead, Crabtree, John Brown, adding some receivers with some talent. Unfortunately, in the past, Baltimore's kind of been where good receivers go to never be heard from again. So hopefully that's not the case with these guys, and they can get some stuff going, get some things figured out, and help out with that offense. But that's what it is. And defensively, they're going to be they should be pretty good on defense with Marlon Humphrey in there at corner in particular. He's going to get some stuff done from them. They should be able to put together a pretty good defense. Cleveland. Cleveland's going to win again this year, and whether that's going to be under Hugh Jackson, I'd say probably not. It'll probably be Todd Haley's team by then, but they're going to win a game. They had some talent on the roster last year. They've got some talent on the roster this year. They just got to figure it out, and they don't know how to win. They have a horrible culture, and the head coach isn't fixing that right now. But once it changes, they could pull out a couple, and they might be some teams that are decent. They might be able to pull off a game or two that people wouldn't expect them to. So that's a scary team. That's a team I don't want to play. I don't want to catch at the wrong time because you always got to worry about a letdown and then about the fact that, they are pretty good. They've got some talented guys. Baker's going to be exciting when he does get in there. Tyrod's a good player, though. And they've got a lot of talent with Josh Gordon, with Landry on offense. They've got a good group of running backs there as well. And then Myles Garrett rushing the passer. Denzel Ward was a real good ad for them defensively. So it's a scary matchup. That's all I'll say. That's not a cake game. It's a team that can get you if you're not paying attention. So the Eagles, you hear about the Super Bowl letdown. You would think with their quarterback coming back that's not going to be an issue for them, but right now their quarterback's not coming back. So we're going to see what's going on with Wentz, how healthy he is, how much he can create and move around outside the pocket when he gets back. For now, it's going to be Foles, who hasn't looked good. And they're going to have to kind of cater the offense a little bit more to him. And I think that's when he got better last year was when they did that. I don't think they've done that this preseason because I don't think they were expecting to really see him and have him out there for that long. But they added Mike Wallace, an aging Mike Wallace, to that receiver group. Maybe able to get a little bit out of him. I honestly don't really think the running backs matter too much in this group, but we'll see what Jay Ajayi can do after being there for a little bit of time. Dallas Goedert's an interesting one. Coming in at tight end, what's he going to be able to do? Are they going to run a lot of two tight end stuff? Get him out there because he's an excellent receiver. He can do some exciting things. Catching the ball, he makes some crazy athletic catches. Defensively, they've got some really good additions here too. One is Sidney Jones, who did play last year, but he was here for the majority of the year. They drafted him hurt, got a steal on him in the second round. He was a guy that I had ranked as my top corner that year. So now he's coming in there. He's going to push that group, and if he gets in there, he can make some serious noise for them. Their defensive line is incredible and has incredible depth. And if you really look at it, they've got Chris Long, Michael Bennett, Josh Sweat. They've got those guys in their second group. That's not even the first group of guys they're putting out there. So I think even if you chop off that first group, they've got some real good edge rushers there, so they're going to rotate them through. They're going to keep those guys fresh and keep that stuff going through. And, a lot comes out of that. So Dallas Cowboys, it's love them or hate them. They've got a lot of issues though. Hopefully they can run the ball now with Zeke, but now they've got some issues on their O-line with injury and health and other health concerns that could throw that for a loop. But Zeke's a really good player. Receiver wise, they're hurting. Hearns, I don't think he can carry it. He hasn't proven in the past that he can. They still got Williams and Beasley there. Michael Gallup is a guy who I think could be receiver one, but is he going to step in and be on right now? I don't know. So Dak really needs some help. Dak needs some more stuff around him. And he's missing Jason Witten there too. And that's just a big mess trying to figure out that tight end situation. Depth chart's a little flipped from what the talent level is at the moment. Defensively, they've got the pass rushers. With Lawrence coming off the edge there, Randy Gregory coming back. That's going to be exciting on defense. I think Dorrance Armstrong is an interesting one as well. Rookie. Vander Esch, once they get him in there at linebacker, that's going to do some good things for them as well. Could use a little bit of help in the secondary though. All in all, probably more of a rebuilding year for Dallas. I could definitely see them have some struggles. The Redskins. I think Alex Smith might be an upgrade from Kirk Cousins. Honestly, he's a guy that's been able to get things done throughout his career, but he's not a huge arm guy, and that's basically what's been the knock on him. That's been the only real issue. Is he didn't have the hugest arm, but he can get some things done. What can he do with this group of receivers? Josh Doctson, he's had some injury concerns, but he was a real good player coming out. Jamison Crowder. Paul Robinson, really a couple of slot guys, but they're going to be playing in some other positions. So how much can these guys get involved? At running back would have been great to have guys out there. That ain't happening though. So they're back to the old crew with Kelly and Thompson, and Pirine, the big physical guy, and then obviously Adrian Peterson. See what he can salvage. Obviously, it's been a tough couple of years from him. New Orleans, Arizona, trying to get back to what he was, trying to salvage something of his career. You hate to see that. The old guy playing it out that long. So hopefully, he can bounce back and do something a little bit more with that. They've got some good D linemen from Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, a couple of first, second year guys out of Alabama. Who can do some things, and obviously some talent in the secondary as well. Josh Norman for one, so that'd be an interesting team. I feel like they have underachieved at times. Putting that new quarterback in there, obviously going to mix things up, and will be interesting to see how they react and what that does for them. Eli out in New York, another one. Played out his career, can he get back to what he was? They've added some help on the O-line with Will Hernandez in the draft and Nate Solder. So that'll help things out. Obviously, he's got a top receiver there in OBJ, and added a big-time playmaker in Saquon Barkley. Still has some more problems on the O-line, so that's going to limit a little bit what Saquon can do. But if they're smart, they'll be using him quite a bit in the pass game. As well. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see too much of what their plans are with him because they were coddling him a little bit for good reason in the preseason. So defensively, they've still got some holes. They're going to have some problems on defense. They're really going to need to be able to score some points. But definitely a team that could be a little better this year. Probably not going to make a major push though. It's really interesting looking at with Carson Wentz, that situation. that really opens up this division. Who knows what's going to happen if he's not back at full capacity with the Eagles defense. If he's back and he's clicking, I mean, it's probably going to be over for the rest of them, to be honest with you. But some interesting teams, interesting prospects over there. Heading to the South, New Orleans. Breeze, he's still getting it done. A little bit off last year, but he's still getting it done. They've got Kamara. They're going to have Ingram at some point, probably coming back real nice and fresh after having a few weeks off there. They added Traquan Smith, who's got a lot of hype at receiver, and Cameron Meredith. So they've added some tools there and some guys that could step up and provide some big plays from time to time. That defense did improve last year, which was big for them. With Lattimore, the rookie last year, also Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams gets all the talk for the one terrible play he had during the year. If he was tackling the way that people are going to need to be taught to tackle at this point, that wouldn't have been a factor. So he lowers his head, he misses the tackle, and that's what went down there. But he had a good year other than that. And we really shouldn't dwell too much on that because he did have a good year outside of that. Went on, got Marcus Davenport, a lot of potential as an edge rusher. Bold and aggressive, and not necessarily a good move, from where I was sitting. But hey, they get paid to make those types of decisions, and it's definitely one that I could look like an idiot for saying that it wasn't a great move at some point. So time will tell. The Falcons as well. They're gonna They've got a lot of talent and added Calvin Ridley to that group on offense. Matt Ryan seems to kind of underachieve, outside of the Kyle Shanahan time there. So, with Shanahan obviously gone for the last couple of years, Ken this year, second year under Sark, be a big year for Matt Ryan. Defensively, though, they've got a lot of talent on defense. They're young and fast on defense, so that's exciting. But it's can this offense fire on all cylinders and be what they're really capable of being. The Panthers, Cam Newton, obviously not the most accurate passer in the world. Now he's got some a new coordinator, Norv Turner, guy who obviously has a track record, but added Torrey Smith in there, DJ Moore in the draft. Christian McCaffrey, we're expected to be the guy for them now this year, really leading the way in that backfield. So that will be interesting to see what comes out of that. Defensively, and Dante Jackson could be something that's big for them. But they've got some talent on that defense. It's really what's going to come up with that offense and how those guys going to get going. Greg Olsen coming back also going to be huge for them. Tampa Bay seems to be in a bit of disarray. Still has a lot of problems on the offensive line, and doesn't necessarily matter who the running back is. It's going to be a problem for that reason. Couple of good tight ends. Obviously, Mike Williams, stud. Deshaun Jackson. That's going to be Fitzpatrick right away. Jameis probably at some point. Although Dirk doesn't sound very committed to that from recent interviews. But they still got some problems on that defense, which is really going to hurt them. When you don't have the defense, the offensive line, you're going to have a lot of issues. And finally, moving out west, all right, the NFC West, the Rams are the team everyone wants to talk about. Obviously, they made a ton of big-time moves this year. They're spending some money, locking down Gurley. They went out and they got Cooks. And, so that offense, it's got a lot of tools. And, it's got a good scheme. They're able to hide some of their deficiencies pretty well. Sean McVay does a really good job with that. They've got some talent on the interior of the defensive line. locking down Aaron Darnold. They got Sue in there as well. Um, Not really the edge rushers though. So who's going to rush from the edge? It's a bit of an unconventional way to have those guys inside and not really on the edge. Really good secondary though. Now Adam Peterson and Talib, a couple of bad dudes out there at corner. Who will really be able to shut things down. They've got a coach that can keep them in check too. And with John Johnson and Lamarcus Joyner, that's going to be round out a really good secondary. But the Niners could be even better. And I think the Niners probably are the team to beat with the way they played with Jimmy Garoppolo last year. Is he going to be able to keep that up? No. There's going to be some drop off there. But now he's had more time in the system. He should be able to be more comfortable with it and face some adversities. Unfortunately, McKinnon's out. Probably looking at a combination of Breida and Alfred Morris. Alfred Morris, who had a lot of success under Coach Shanahan in Washington. There's a few years back, but something to keep in mind. Marquise Goodwin, Pierre Garcon, some good receivers in there. Dante Pettis could get involved as well. So definitely has some good things going. Again, not really any outside pass rush. They've got DeForest Buckner. They've got Solomon Thomas who can get done inside. Not really anybody on the edge. They've got some big, talented corners who they don't have using their hands in press, which makes no sense to me. But everything I've seen from them, they're not using their hands in press, and they're having some problems with it. So those are some guys that have some potential. I think there's some weird technique stuff going on there. We'll see how that all plays out. Seattle, one of the worst rosters in the league. They've lost most of the talent off the defense that they had years ago, and Russell Wilson has been, keeping them relevant the last few years. I don't know if he's got enough, this year to do that. And I think there would be a serious candidate for the first overall pick if it wasn't for Russell. I think he'll push them along and hopefully, keep them respectable. He's got Doug Baldwin, he's got Chris Carson and Rashad Penny, who will be interesting guys. I think it's more Carson, although he has a major injury concern. Not a good offensive line and a lot of problems. Not the defense that it was years ago. So it's gonna be a tough year for them. Arizona, you've got Bradford there now. How long is that going to last? When are they going to go to Rosen? And how much success is Rosen going to be able to have? With that setup. If they can pass protect for him, he's got Larry Fitzgerald. He's got Christian Kirk, the rookie. Looks like he can get in there. J.J. Nelson, Chad Williams. So there's some talent there. Obviously, David Johnson, who can catch the ball at the backfield as well. So there's some young talent there. Chase Edmonds, another one, yet young talent. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. The line's going to be a big factor in that. Better as run blockers than they are as pass blockers. So he's going to have to figure out how to make that work. Budda Baker coming in on defense. Where the Honey Badger's gone. He did some good things last year. It'll be exciting to see him get out there more. The Honey Badger isn't quite as much of a loss as people make it out to be for that reason, because they've got his replacement sitting right there. In the North, the Vikings, really now with the offense switching with Kirk Cousins, should be an upgrade there. But time will tell how that plays out. Dalvin Cook coming back. Hopefully he's healthy and going full blast. But it does look like Latavius Murray is going to be heavily involved as well. They've got a great pair of receivers in Thielen and Diggs. Kyle Rudolph, really an underrated pass catcher at tight end, but can get things done as a run blocker as well. Offensive line has some issues, which with recent additions in that division could be a bigger issue. But overall, the defense is going to get it done. They've added some talent to that defense. Sheldon Richardson, Mike Hughes is going to play a big role this year. going out getting Georgia Iloka, he'll contribute as well. So that defense is going to be real good, and Kirk Cousins should make the offense a little better than it was last year. So that could be the team to beat in the North. The Packers, obviously, when you've got Rodgers at quarterback, you always have potential to be the team to beat. So they could really get that going. Missing his favorite target in Jordy Nelson. They added Jimmy Graham. Historically, Rodgers has not thrown to tight ends, so we'll see what good having Jimmy Graham actually does them. They've got some young receivers in there, adding those guys behind Allison Cobb and Adams. So we'll see how that plays out as well. Ty Montgomery, really kind of an underrated figure in all this as well. He's going to do some things coming out of the backfield, in the pass game and running the ball as well. Defensively, big improvements adding Jair Alexander and Josh Jackson. Once those guys are able to kind of matriculate and get in there, that could be a big factor and a big improvement. But defensively, they're still going to have some issues until they get that figured out and get a little bit better in the secondary. Chicago had a pretty good defense with that pass rush, and now they added Khalil Mack. So adding Khalil Mack is going to be huge. I think that makes them a legitimate contender in this division, especially with adding some talent at receiver. I'm not a big Mitch Trubisky fan, but with Matt Nagy in that offense, he's good at hiding things like that. So I think that they can have some success. They can scheme up some success at that position. Anthony Miller, if he can come on at receiver, in my opinion, was the top receiver in this year's draft. So once they get him going, he could be a real exciting player for them too. Obviously, they also had Trey Burton at tight end. Eddie Jackson really came on last year at safety. So he's looking real good. And with the addition of Mack, that defense could make them into a serious contender. All right, and finally, that gets us to the Lions. The Lions are kind of a great mystery, but they added Frank Ragnow, who was one of the best interior offensive linemen in the draft. So that's definitely going to help them out, help their run game. They've got Blunt, they've got Abdullah, they've got Riddick, Kerryon Johnson. People love to talk about. Don't know how much we really see of him. So what is that run game going to be? Who really knows? Pass game wise, they've got Tate, Jones, and Kenny Golladay, who's waiting to take off. And Stafford throwing the ball is going to be able to get it done for them. Defensively, they've got some young talent with Gerard Davis. Slade's going to get it done at corner, and sign Ziggy Ansah, on the edge there. Some issues on the interior, but they've got the pass rusher and they've got the shutdown corner. So, when you have those two things, you can come up with a lot of stuff, especially when you're Matt Patricia and you got an engineering degree and you worked under Bill Belichick for years. You should be able to figure that stuff out. So that's a breakdown preview of the NFL going into Week 1. Stay tuned. So we'll have a weekly segment. It's going to be a lot shorter than this in the future, but we'll have a weekly segment moving forward.